My Hero Academia and Naruto are two of the largest and most well-known anime in the world. As such, they of course have had multiple video game adaptations, but for each of them, their most popular video game counterparts are 3D arena fighting games. My Hero One's Justice for My Hero Academia, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm for Naruto. Each of these games are surprisingly similar to each other. Both are 3D arena fighting games based off of a popular shonen anime.
So today, we're going to be pitting them against each other in a total of 5 categories.
Gameplay. How fun is the combat and how much skill does it require to master? Character roster. How well does the roster do at choosing the right amount of characters while also keeping each one feeling different? Story mode. How well does it cover the story of the anime in an engaging way? Replayability. How much content is present in the game and how quickly does it become boring? Visual design. How does the game look visually in terms of style and presentation? For each category, I'll discuss how the games fare, then award a point to the game that excels in said category. In the end, the game with the most points will be crowned as the best 3D arena fighting game based off of a popular shonen anime and manga. So, let's get started. Let's first talk about My Hero One's Justice's gameplay, starting with the basic controls. So as you already know, this is a 3D arena fighter, meaning you can move, dash, jump, and block. Surprisingly though, you can't dodge. Most games like this allow you to dodge by moving while guarding, but that mechanic just doesn't exist in this game for some reason. Anyways, let's get down to attacks. You have a basic combo attack, a tilt attack, 2 quirk attacks, 2 tilt quirk attacks, an unblockable attack, and 2 plus ultra attacks. The basic combo attack is a basic combo attack, not much to say there. You press a button multiple times and it automatically strings a combo. You can perform a tilt attack by tilting the joystick towards your opponent and pressing the attack button at the same time. This attack makes your character yellow and gives you armor, meaning that you cannot be interrupted by any attacks except for unblockable attacks. Your quirk attacks are essentially special attacks. They don't require any stamina or anything like that, but they can have a wide range of effects depending on the character. We'll use Deku as an example. His quirk 1 is an air projectile, and his quirk 2 is simply a stronger punch. Tilt quirk attacks are essentially the same except you execute them by tilting the joystick towards the enemy while using a quirk attack. For example, Deku has a tilt quirk where he unleashes an uppercut. Next we have unblockable attacks, which are achieved by attacking while holding block. These are insanely punishable, but can break blocks, like the name would imply. Finally, we have plus ultra attacks, which are essentially just the ultimate or super attacks. There are 3 levels of plus ultra attacks, but only 2 different attacks themselves. These you must charge up a meter for. 1 meter gets you the base plus ultra, 2 meters is a more powerful version of said plus ultra, and 3 levels is an entirely different, more powerful plus ultra. These level 3 plus ultras, I kid you not, take so long to get through. There's some other gameplay mechanics such as just guard, which just means that you time a guard perfectly while your opponent attacks, giving you a window of opportunity to attack back. Guarding too long will give a guard break in which you're incapacitated for a short time. There are air recoveries, dash cancels, wall splats, floor splats, and assists. You can choose 2 teammates, but you cannot switch them mid-game. You can only call them for assists. The gameplay is fine, it's exactly what you would expect from a 3D arena fighter, and that's the problem. There aren't many nice things to say about it because it does nothing unique, but on the flip side, there are multiple negative things to say. For one, because of how generic it is, it's super easy to learn and not very difficult to master. Executing combos isn't that hard, and even if you can't combo, you can just win by spamming quirk attacks. On top of that easy skill level, everything is super floaty, making the game incredibly slow paced. I guess it's kind of fun to play as your favorite MHA characters, but I chalk that up to the character roster, not the gameplay. At this point, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm has to have some pretty gameplay in order to lose this round. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm's gameplay is incredible, aside from some stupid elements here and there. There are the basic controls, move, jump, basic combo, and guard. Oh, and when you guard, if you move in any direction, you can dodge. Take notes, My Hero One's Justice. You can also perform an unblockable attack by attacking while holding guard, just like in My Hero. Unlike in My Hero, the meter bar, in this case, the chakra bar, affects more than just your ultimate attack. There's one button dedicated to loading chakra, and when used in tandem with another action, you can perform a chakra-enhanced version of it. For starters, there is a separate button for a shuriken throw, but when charged with chakra, you can throw a chakra shuriken. When used with jump, you can perform a chakra dash, and you can load chakra in order to use a jutsu, which is essentially just a special attack. Already, this negates My Hero's problem of being able to spam special attacks, as well as adding a level of strategy and resource management not found in My Hero. Speaking of resource management, you can also use one of 4 items, but personally I never found the need to use any of these. Of course, there are ultimate jutsus which are just performed by using the chakra load twice, then the jutsu button. However, these attacks require a large amount of chakra, but no worries because you also simply charge your chakra meter by holding down the chakra button. The second to last use of chakra is Awakening, which will deplete your meter while in an awakened state. And the final and most controversial use of chakra is the substitution jutsu. By timing the substitution button right as you're being attacked, you're able to teleport out of the attack and give yourself some time to counterattack. I say controversial because many people have issues with spamming this ability, but if I'm being completely honest, the barrier to use this ability, the timing and use of chakra, balances its capabilities just right. Moving past mechanics, the gameplay is fun and polished, finding the right mix between easy to learn and difficult to master. And again, unlike My Hero, it's not floaty at all and feels rather grounded.
It looks like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm takes the first point for gameplay.
Moving on to our second category, we're going to take a look at My Hero One's Justice's character roster, its size, variety, and representation. The game features 20 characters in the base roster along with 3 DLC characters. As the game covers from Season 2 to Season 3 of the anime, that's where most of the characters come from. I think for My Hero Academia's first console outing, this is a pretty solid roster. You have most of the main students, a couple of pro heroes, and a good selection of villains. There are a couple of missing notable characters such as Mr. Compress or Twice, but to be fair, their powers weren't showcased all too much in these 2 seasons, so I'll let it slide this time. It is a little annoying that they locked Endeavor behind a DLC paywall, but whatever, DLC will always exist, so it's not that annoying. And they even gave out a free DLC character in the form of shoot-style Deku. The final DLC character is Inasa to coincide with the second core of Season 3. I definitely think there were better options for characters, but to give some representation to the second half of Season 3, Inasa works. The size and representation are good, but do the characters all feel unique? I'd say the majority do. Some feel pretty similar like Deku and All Might or Endeavor and Dabi, but I mean, they're kinda supposed to. The rest of the characters all feel pretty unique. My only problem would be that they all handle the same, as in their weight and strength feel the same. But in order to keep the game balanced, I can see how they did that, because aside from that, their attacks all feel unique. I'm surprisingly impressed by this game's roster. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm's roster consists of 25 characters as well as 10 support-only characters. These support-only characters means that you can choose them as support characters only. This roster is also incredibly strong, including each of the main Genin squads, even the Sand Genin. However, Asuma and Kurenai are support-onlys, whereas Might Guy and Kakashi are playable. Aside from those mentors, there's also the third Hokage Jiraiya and Tsunade. There are also a good handful of villains with Orochimaru, Itachi, Kisame, Kabuto, and Kimimbaru. But there are 2 character exclusions that I am very upset about, Zabuza and Haku. I genuinely don't know why these 2 aren't in the game. Hell, they aren't even in the story mode, but I'll complain about that later. Both of them would have been such great additions and offered unique gameplay styles. Moving on from character choices, I'd argue just like My Hero, they all play relatively the same, but each have their own unique attacks and specials that make them stand out from one another.
This was a hard decision, and it might be a little controversial, but I'm going to give the character roster point to My Hero One's Justice simply because Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm refused to add Zabuza and Haku.
My Hero One's Justice has genuinely one of the worst story modes I've ever played in a fighting game. The gameplay is incredibly monotonous. It's just the same basic 1v1 battles over and over and over. There is zero variety. There's nothing special even for the boss fights. It's just the same 1v1 battles. On top of that, they throw so much filler into this mode because they know it's not worth it. The story only covers from the second half of Season 2 to the first half of Season 3. Why? They added these side story filler missions to pad out the runtime when they had more material to work with. Why not introduce the first half of Season 1, or even the second half with the USJ arc? Why not have the sports festival? Why not have the license exam? There are literally 4 story arcs that they could have developed, but instead they shove in garbage side missions that add literally nothing and do literally nothing new. The presentation of these missions and all of the missions in the story mode is incredibly lackluster. The story is told through these comic panels and a very small handful of cutscenes. The comic panels are fine, I guess, but they're literally just PNGs on backgrounds. And the few cutscenes that are in the game are so cheap, they look terrible. The story mode in this game is in no way, shape, or form better than just watching the anime. You play the story mode to either A, learn the story, or B, relive the story with yourself behind the wheel. And it accomplishes neither of these things. If you're new to My Hero Academia, then watch the anime. If you want to relive the anime, then just watch it again. This story mode is just tedious grinding through the same battles over and over with literally no redeeming qualities or reason to do it at all. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, on the other hand, knocks out of the park. It covers the story up to Shippuden and is actually fun. For starters, the story mode features an entire hub world to traverse around, full of side quests and secrets. Of course, there are also actual story missions, which brings me to the first of 2 problems. They are tedious to unlock. That's right, unlock. In order to progress through the story, you have to play free roam quests to gain mission XP in order to play the story missions. This is really stupid. As someone who simply wanted to play through the story, it definitely made my experience less enjoyable, but I'd rather take this open world than My Hero's garbage. Onto the story missions themselves, there's actual variety among them. There are basic battles, but there are also tree climbing missions, forest traversing missions, and insanely well-made boss fights. The basic battles are just basic battles. The tree climbing missions see you climbing up a tree avoiding branches. They're fun but get pretty old quick. The forest traversing missions see you traversing a forest avoiding branches. They're fun but get pretty old quick. But the boss fights, man, they're so good. The second of the two negatives is that they cover up to the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke, but for some reason, they left out the Land of Waves arc. Why? Is it too violent or something? I don't get it. But this little grievance is nowhere near the level of disappointment in My Hero's story mode. My Hero 1's Justice stood literally no chance against Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm's story mode. So this point is going to Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. My Hero 1's Justice is the same game no matter what mode you play. There's the story mode, mission mode, local matches, training, online, and arcade mode. Story mode is a series of local matches, missions is a series of local matches, training is local matches, online is local matches online, and arcade mode is a series of local matches. Notice a trend? Everything in this game is the exact same. There's no variety in the gameplay. You can argue that there are things to work towards because there are cosmetics that you can unlock for your characters, which I will admit is a neat addition, but it's definitely not enough to keep me playing this game. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm has two game modes, Ultimate Mission Mode and Free Battle Mode. Now it may seem like it has way less content than My Hero, but it's the complete opposite. Yes, you can simply play regular matches, but Ultimate Mission Mode has free roaming, tree climbing, forest traversing, boss battles, collectibles, hide and seek, cat rescue, and so much more. The amount of unique things to do in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm compared to My Hero 1's Justice is laughable. And with that, Naruto gets another point. Well, this is awkward, considering there's only one category left, and there are 5 in total, and Naruto already has 3 points, so... Finally, we have visual design. First, to clarify some things, Once Justice came out in 2018 and Ninja Storm came out in 2008, but I played both of these on PC, so that would be a fair comparison. My Hero Once Justice looks pretty good, for the most part. The models are clean, the comic book style is fun, and the animation in-game looks nice. But oh boy, those cutscenes really look like shit. In addition to the lazy story cutscenes, the Plus Ultra cutscenes are also incredibly lazy. Rather than actually animate the attacks to work on any of the maps, the characters just become randomly teleported to a desert with a fog problem. Everything about the visuals just reeks of Bandai's greed. On the flip side, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm looks amazing. You would never guess that this game came out 10 years before My Hero. The cutscenes look incredible, the models are great, the animations are awesome, the ultimate attacks actually take place where they're supposed to, and it even has a fun menu design too. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm destroys My Hero 1's Justice in this category. So what did we learn today? That modern anime games are pretty bad most of the time. It's sad when a game from 2008 beats a game from 2018 in almost every aspect. It's pretty clear to see that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm was made out of love for the franchise, whereas My Hero 1's Justice was made to rake in on the cash cow that was My Hero Academia. So with that, the ultimate 3D arena fighting game based off of a popular shonen anime and manga is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Oh, come on.